Jemva Chaloji. This sentence in Gujarati means food is ready, please enjoy a meal with us. So here we welcome you to Kebab Bistro, the Parsi Connection. What we do is we replicate a Parsi wedding experience at our restaurant by offering a buffet on every Friday and Saturday. So you can sample each of these dishes at the restaurant through the buffet rather than ordering everything together. Being a West Coast cuisine, coming from the coastal region, fish is an integral part of the Parsi cuisine as well. And one of the signature dishes is patrani machi. Patra means leaf and machi is fish. So we traditionally use a white pomfret, a nice thick big slice of white pomfret, which is marinated with green chutney prepared from coconut and lemon, lot of coriander, green chilies, and that is layered over the fish and steamed in a banana leaf. So that is how we have our patrani machi. So all the flavors of the chutney are absorbed into the fish, and then of course Parsis love fried food as well. So there are the cutlets, the mutton cutlet, the chicken cutlets. We have the patties, which are our signature patties, which is keema, which is rolled into kind of boiled potato and then batter fried in egg. Most of the patties and cutlets are batter fried in egg for the non-vegetarians, and of course not so for the vegetarians. Parsis are also very fond of eggs. So there's always edu or egg on every dish. Even on a vegetable there'll be eggs, on potatoes there'll be eggs, on spinach there'll be eggs as bhaji par edu, there'll be bhindi par edu. All kinds of things that are leftovers are sometimes rolled up with an egg on it. Lagan nu kasta, as the name implies, Lagan means wedding. So at a traditional Parsi wedding, there is always a milk kasta which is served, milk and egg kasta, which is a boiled kasta. Unlike the traditional nuts, the Parsis always use charoli, which is a kind of nuts that are sprinkled over this, and it's got a nice brown layer and slightly burnt layer. It's not a typical caramel custard, it's very different from a caramel custard.
My name is Vistas. I manage the kitchen at Kebab Bistro, which is the Parsi Connection. What we are going to do today is do a dish called dhansak. Dhansak is our favorite dish. It's the dish which gives us a lot of pride. Dhansak, the meaning dhan and shak. So dhan being the rice, shak being the mixture of dal and mutton. So I will be taking you through the process of how to make it, yeah? And we start the process now. Now we'll start making the rice, which is the dhan of the dish. We've kept some oil for heating already. You can see now once the oil gets hot, you start with the zeera. Okay, add a bit of zeera so that it releases its flavor into the oil. After that it becomes brown, you put in some onions. We'll have to brown the onions, make them pretty brown so that it adds to the color of the rice and flavor as well. So this frying would take approximately 4 to 5 minutes depending on the quantity. Okay, now while the onion is getting brown, you start adding the whole garam masala, basically taj, then some black pepper and some cloves. This adds to the flavor. Also add a bit of javitri, which adds a bit of flavor to the rice. You need a nice fragrant brown rice, almost like a pulao rice. If you see, it started to become a bit on the dark brown side. Now this stage is when we will add the water. Now be careful when you add water because a lot of oil will splash on top. You just need to be careful. As soon as you add the water will take on the color of the brown onions, and as it boils, it will take on more color. As you will see now, the water has come to a boil and it has taken a lot of the wonderful color of the onion, the brown color of the onions. This stage we will add in salt as per our requirement. Normally for this quantity I would go for a spoon. This is the stage when we will add clean washed rice. Just add enough water to cover the rice because we don't want to throw up this beautiful water, and we will keep it on slow flame till the rice gets cooked and all the water gets absorbed by the rice. Okay, Now that the dhan of the dhansak is already cooking on the other stove, we will start with the shaak, which is a combination of 3 or 4 dals which are boiled with potatoes and pumpkin. We'll start by adding some oil. The oil has to be really hot before you add the zeera. Now we'll be adding the zeera. Once the zeera has fried nicely, we'll be adding the onions. So just give it a nice light brown color. At this stage you will see the onions have started to become a bit brown. This is when we will be adding some ginger garlic paste, maybe a spoon. Allow it to brown a little bit, and you can smell that it is getting cooked and the rawness of the ginger garlic is getting off. So at this stage we will be adding the tomato puree, freshly made tomato puree. And this is the stage when you will see that the tomato and the ginger garlic paste is nicely cooked and homogenized. We will add our core ingredient of the dish, which is the dhansak masala. Dhansak masala is nothing else but dry roasted garam masala, whole garam masala with a certain proportion and grounded to paste. That gives the unique flavor to the dish. At this stage, you will also add in the cooked mutton so that it takes in the flavor of the masala as well. Now that the mutton is nicely coated and has absorbed all the flavors, we will be adding the dal. If you remember, the dal which we boiled earlier with potatoes and pumpkin, we have it nicely cooked, so we will be adding it to the masala. We will be adding a bit of salt, keeping in mind that the mutton there is already some salt. We've achieved the consistency of dal that we wanted. At this stage, normally we Parsis like everything a bit sweet. We either add a bit of sugar or we add jaggery, but in this case we normally add jaggery because that gives a good color and flavor to the product. And yeah, the dhansak is done and ready to be served. We can see that the rice is also nicely cooked. We'll separate it out nicely, taking care that we do not break the rice. You see it has taken a beautiful brown color from the onions that we had browned earlier. We sprinkle it with a few more fried onions to give it the extra taste. This is the dhansak and it is accompanied by kachumbar, which is a combination of onions, cucumber marinated in vinegar and squeeze of lemon on top.